Stan here with the Stan4J Outdoor YouTube channel, and after many requests it's finally here. I'm making an outdoor YouTube video just like the Outdoor Boys, because today I'm stranded in the wilderness of Swedish Lapland and I'm building a bushcraft shelter, cooking amazing foods including bread with honey butter, and overall I'm having a good time. This seems like an alright spot to set up camp. I can use the wall there as a heat reflector, and I got water very nearby. Woohoo! I think I'll have to hurry up, because it looks like it's about to rain soon. Shelter is done, and I just felt the first raindrop. It took me about 5 hours to build the whole shelter. There's still some holes in the roof that I gotta fill up, but I've worked up quite the appetite. I think it's time for lunch. Even though there are some holes in the roof, the rain is not coming through at all. I'm fully dry right now. Before the rain started, I quickly got some birch bark from the trees to keep it dry, so I can start the fire easily. I'm reusing the moss that I'm pulling out, and I'm putting it in between the open gaps in the wall. After lunch, I'm gonna fill up the whole wall with moss, so it's like properly closed. I'm gonna get some firewood and get this soup boiling. Probably should have put this in a dry spot before the rain started. It's all soaking wet now. Ha, these are still dry. As my fire kit, I'm using my knife with its own piece of flint. And to catch the spark, I got a little bit of birch and I got a little bit of paper from a paper bag. I'm gonna see if this works, otherwise I also have some tampons with me. Alright, I'm gonna use a tampon to catch a spark because this isn't working. It's all a little too wet and damp. Tampons are great fire starters. They come in a plastic jacket, so they're basically waterproof. All you gotta do is to twist them open and then you just plug them out. This is basically very compact cotton, which is great at catching a spark. And because it's so compact, it's small in your backpack, it's waterproof, and it's relatively cheap. I mean, I bought I think about a 20 pack for €2.50. That's 20 fires. €2.50. Check it out. When you plug it out, it gets really just perfect stuff to catch sparks. You just place it underneath. Look at this, just one stroke, 2 strokes, 3 strokes. There we go. I'll have to try to control the fire. Do not get it too high, otherwise my roof and wall will probably catch on fire. The roof and wall really trap the heat, so it's getting super warm in here. Smoke is going up and out perfectly through the ventilation gap here in the wall. Alright, so it's a nice little vegetable soup. So I got some potato, carrot, bell pepper, zucchini, and a bag of broth. The pan is smothering the fire a little bit, so gotta keep blowing. Alright. Oh, that's nice. I was really hungry. This is really hitting the spot right now. And it also seems like the sky is clearing up. I see blue sky coming through. Clouds are disappearing. And I'm actually 200 kilometers over the Arctic Circle. And we have the midnight sun, so it will stay like this. It's probably gonna be like this for the rest of the night. And then the predictions say that tomorrow morning we will have some clouds again. But from now on it should stay like this. So I'm really excited. I think I'm gonna go on a hike. When I finish the shelter, I think I'll go on a hike. Alright, finished the lunch. Let's do some dishes. And the weather really cleared up. So later I'll be going on a hike, see if I can find some open field so I can watch the sun go down later tonight. But first, time to finish the shelter. Alright, I filled up most of the big gaps. Now only the roof. I still have some holes to fix. Alright, that looks good to me. And so with the shelter done for tonight and some warm food in my belly, I think it's time to go on a walk, explore the map a little bit. Looks like a hoof print of a reindeer. We have a lot of reindeers in this area. Came across a few as well on the way here. Here's another one. This one's a little bit clearer. And now the reindeers are in their prime season, where they look the best. They're losing their winter fur and regrowing their antlers. See how much water there's still left on the ground? It's just one of the crazy things about being so far up north. Because that water is not from rainfall or anything. It's from the snow melting, even though it's the end of May. In a few days we're entering June. At some spots you can still see piles of snow that hasn't fully melted all the way down yet. Just crazy how short the summer is here. Because in September we can already have the first new snow. It looks like the sun is setting here, but because the midnight sun, it doesn't disappear under like that. So we'll just hang out a little bit here, and then on the other side of the mountain it will just start rising again. So it won't get darker than this. Now a fun fact, is the very first outdoor YouTube video that I ever made, I made 1 year ago on this location. And when I was there, I remember I found a lot of bones, and they're still here. Look, vertebrae. More vertebrae. I think there's something. Oh no, that's a bottle. I think I see a leg over there. And when I did my first outdoor YouTube video, this is where I got the water from. And behind me, in this forest parcel, is where I set up my camp. This here is lichen. This is what the reindeers are mostly eating. And also the caribous in Alaska in Luke's videos. You can cook it up and eat it yourself. I heard from Luke from the OutdoorBoys, but I've never tried it. Alright, I've walked for quite some time now. And it's getting kinda late, so I think it's time to head back. What a nice view. I also brought some mini kanelbulle. It's basically mini cinnamon buns. It's a very typical snack here in Sweden. Even though the midnight sun is here, it still gets pretty cold at night. Here you see there is ice forming. Here we are. Finish the cinnamon buns. And I'll move the trash bag away from the camp, because there are some bears in this area. We got the European brown bear here. It's mostly scared of humans, but just in case, I always like to get the trash a little bit away from my sleeping bag. It's important I don't forget this in the morning. It is dinner time. But I think I'm skipping dinner tonight because I had quite a late lunch with the soup and I just had some cinnamon buns. I'm not all that hungry. So I think I'm just gonna take it slow, get the sleeping bag out and just spend the rest of the evening in there. Alright, but before I dive in, I first need to prep my bread dough. Because tomorrow morning I'm making fresh bread with honey butter. Alright, so I got my flour, yeast, sugar and salt in here. Followed the OutdoorBoys recipe. So now I'm just gonna add some water, squeeze it a little bit and let it rise overnight. He never really specifies how much water he puts in. I'm gonna have to guess a little bit. I think I need a little bit more. seems fine to me. I'm just gonna let it rise overnight, and then hopefully tomorrow morning we got some nice warm fresh bread with honey butter. Well, I don't have the north face down booties like the OutdoorBoys, but I do got some wool socks and hand warmers that I can put underneath my toes. That's like the next best thing. Alright, I'm just gonna sit back, relax, watch a video, and then see you in the morning.
Luke here at the OutdoorBoys YouTube channel, and I'm here in the woods of Alaska, and I'm building a survival...
Good morning. I slept really well. I could use a little bit more moss underneath my hips, so it's a little bit more soft to lay on. But with the heating pads in my socks and everything, it was really toasty tonight. I slept very well. I think it's time for some fresh bread and some honey butter. Once again, I'm using a tampon to start the fire. As you can see, I changed the fire pit a little bit. I'm thinking to either oil up one of these rocks if they get hot enough and then put the bread dough on there, or I put the bread in the pan and I put the pan inside the oven. Putting one of the rocks on top like a roof, it will probably protect my wall a little bit more. Even though yesterday everything went well, nothing caught on fire, it was sometimes quite some serious flames still hitting the wall, so I hope to fix that with this. Only thing now is that, you know, the fire might not get as much oxygen, so I might need to blow a little bit more, but we'll see. A little bit of fire coming out from the back. Well, the wall was catching on fire a little bit. I'm just gonna wait for the flame to be a little bit less strong, then I'll put it out, because it's only a little bit of the moss going. Should be fine. Didn't see that hole there. I'm gonna oil up the pan a little bit. It did not quite double in size like it always does in the OutdoorBoys videos, but maybe I should have added some more water. Yeah. It's a little bit sticky, but not too sticky, so I think it can be fine. Oh well, there we go. Maybe I should have added a little bit more water, but it's a first try. I'm sure this one will come back in more videos. Also got my honey and butter and put this close to the fire so it melts a little bit. You know, I'm not Luke from the OutdoorBoys, so with a little bit of Stem VJ fashion, I may or may not have burnt the bread. On that side, this side is alright. And the other one is okay. The other one is looking fine. Also burnt, but not as burnt. Like I had oil in the pan, the whole pan just caught on fire. I mean, it looks pretty good on the inside. It's only the outer shell that's a little bit burnt. Honey butter is nice and warm. Ooh, that smells so nice. I mean, if you ignore the burnt bit, this is really nice. Never realized how good of a combination warm honey butter is. If only I get the bread a little bit better. But I think I will do this more often. I don't know why I've never done this before, but in future videos I will do this more. Look at this though. A little bit of butter, honey. Next time I will also let the dough rise at home, so I know for sure it rises, because I think tonight it probably was freezing a little bit, and maybe that prevented the dough from rising correctly. We're breaking off this bit, and then we have this. Look at that butter. That was really nice, but I think now it's time to pack up and go back home. Now I thought about breaking this all down. I've decided to just leave it, and probably I'll be coming back here later on and using it again. You know, I'm pretty happy about that shelter. It turned out a lot better than I thought it would. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. Let in the comments know what you want to see next, and I hope to see you in the next video.